Hello and welcome to episode 21 of Jank It Up Fuzzball. I'm your host Brian, aka Jankalorian Super Commando. How you doing? It's been a few weeks. The summer is winding down. I am reporting for duty at my college, getting syllabi and other fun stuff together. And students show up next week, which is pretty fun for me. I always look forward to a new group of students, new classes, new challenges. It's all good. But I'm here not to talk about higher education, but instead to talk about Star Wars Destiny. How's your playing been? Has it been good? Have you been murdered by a bunch of Ewoks? Because that'll probably happen. I got some great games in last weekend, so I'm gonna talk about some of those. I'm playing tonight. Greg's coming over tonight as we're recording this, so I'm super excited about that. Playing some more Constructed. So yeah, Destiny is alive and well in my household. Just trying to get there, counting down the hours, right? Still got to check some boxes off of things to do, my to-do list. But we'll get there. We'll roll some dice, and that'll be a lot of fun. So today's episode, I got a few things I want to talk about. I want to introduce you to a new community partner at the beginning, and then I want to talk about my shop. So I had a soft launch of my shop in July, and now it's back, and I have some Jank It Up Fuzzball merch that's available for sale. So if you're a fan of the pod or of my work, and you want to support me, you could get some cool stickers, magnets, or coasters, and some alt art that I've designed and had printed. That's all available for you in the shop. And I'm going to talk about some of the decks I ran, which 2 of the 3 include Mandalorian Super Commando. So therein lies the AKA for today's episode. So just a reminder, if you want to follow along with the jank outside of listening to the podcast, we're on Twitter. I should say I'm on Twitter. There's no real we, but we're on Twitter. At Jank It Up. Facebook, if you just look for Jank It Up Fuzzball, you'll find us. Instagram, at Jank It Up Fuzzball. And I'm in a few Discords now. I wasn't really in Discord at all for the longest time, but I'm in Discord. You'll see me occasionally, Jank It Up Fuzzball Brian. That's me. You can say hello. If you're on those platforms, I would love for you to connect. So thank you very much. If you want to reach me and you're not on those platforms, of course, jankitupfuzzball@gmail.com is a great way to do so. Okay, I want to introduce you to a brand new Destiny store, an online Destiny store called Game Shop of Destiny. They're very new, and they're dedicated exclusively to Star Wars Destiny. And their URL, just in case you want to pull it up as I'm talking about them, is very elegantly gameshopofdestiny.com. So not GameStop, but gameshopofdestiny.com. And you'll see that really nice, minimal designed website, very nice. But they offer a $3 flat rate shipping on all singles and free shipping on all orders over $75. So $3 flat rate is pretty good. You know, I've bought singles from a whole lot of various retailers over the last year and a half. $3 is a very, very fair, affordable price for shipping for singles. That's pretty good. I want to draw your attention, though, if you go there and you visit, Game Shop of Destiny is giving away a box of Spark of Hope. And as a casual player, you know that I'm also kind of a budget-conscious player. I'm not one to go buy multiple boxes, but I always love an opportunity to get a box on the cheap, and there's no cheaper than free. So if you are interested in possibly winning a box of Spark of Hope, you can do so. No purchase necessary. So go check out Game Shop of Destiny, and you'll see on their homepage right there, there are 4 ways to enter the drawing. You can follow them on Instagram, like them on Facebook, subscribe to their newsletter. You also get an additional entry for every $5 purchase from the store. So this giveaway is sponsored by Jank It Up Fuzzball and Jackalman Games, so you can show your support for the new kid, which is Game Shop of Destiny. Now, if you are going to go and you're going to buy some singles, let's say you're there, you did all this stuff to sign up for the box giveaway, and you're looking around, and you're like, oh, well, I do see. I need a Jango Fett, or I need a Force Storm, or a Rey. You can order those, right? Throw them in your cart. And the great people at Game Shop of Destiny are so nice. They gave me a promo code. So I'm going to pass that on to you. If you use JANK15, so JANK and then the numbers 1 and 5, they're going to give you 15% off your order of singles. So that is pretty awesome, right? I think it is anyway. So there you go. Game Shop of Destiny, now a friend of Jank. I'm going to add them to my website. Really appreciate them reaching out over the summer. I've been very impressed with what they're doing in terms of just getting their store up and running and how they're looking to add to the community which I think is really, really awesome. So do yourself a favor and do me a favor and just go check them out. You can always enter into possibly winning a box of Spark of Hope. How cool would that be? And then if you need to buy some cards or get some merch, you can do so and save yourself 15% using Jank15. I'll put that all in the show notes. I'll put it on the episode page on the website. So if you didn't write it down or you're going to go back to it later, you can find it. But I want to thank them. Thank you, Game Shop of Destiny, for being a friend of Jank and reaching out. And so, I love working with the community partners, and this is awesome. Speaking of shop, I have a shop now. So jankitupfuzzball.com/shop. Now, you won't come to my shop to buy singles or sealed merchandise of Star Wars Destiny, but I am proud to present some Jank merchandise. And right now we're starting kind of small. We have 3-inch stickers, 3-inch magnets, and drink coasters. And everything's really, really high quality. I'm really been impressed with them. I'm using Sticker Mule as the vendor to print these. And I have nothing but good things to say about Sticker Mule. Since using them for my Jank merch, I've used them for some client work, and everyone's been super happy with the quality. I love them. I think they're great. If you are a content creator or you're just looking to produce some stickers or coasters for an event, then I would certainly steer you that way. Now, in the show notes, I'll also include a referral code. So if you want to go through me, then you can save yourself $10 on a future order, and then Jank It Up Fuzzball or myself, I will get $10 as well to use on stuff for Jank It Up Fuzzball. So there's always an opportunity to, make some money for both of us if that's the case. Last episode, I gave away 4 stickers, and so thank you for everyone that entered that. And those are my last 4 stickers of my original batch. But I'm happy to report back. It's been a few weeks. I have re-upped, and I have new stickers in inventory. I have coasters in inventory, and I have probably 7 or 8 or so magnets in inventory. So if you're interested in those, please visit jankitupfuzzball.com/shop, or it's in the menu, so you can go right there. So let me give you a quick rundown of the store, what its purpose is, and what it's going to cost if you decide to purchase some stuff. So again, this is all Jank branded merchandise. Right now, it's coasters, stickers, and magnets. If you want to buy them, these are your prices. I have them in bundles already. So if you wanted a sticker plus a magnet, those 2 items is $6. If you want 2 coasters plus either 1 sticker or 1 magnet, that's $9. Or if you want 4 coasters, a sticker, and a magnet, that's $16. Very important thing to note is that includes shipping. You're not charged anything else for me to get these items to you. Okay? And I don't have a Patreon. I don't plan on ever setting up a Patreon. So this is just a way of you casually, when it fits your desire and or budget, you can help support the pod. Help pay for the hosting fees for the website, hosting fees for the podcast. I recently redid the Cracked Packs page, and I used a plugin that I paid for in order to make that just a more interactive and visually engaging experience. All these things goes to apply for that. And so those bundles, priced at $6, $9, or $16, you're going to get some merch in return. I'm going to ship it to you. All right, shipping's included. And then the rest of the funds goes to support the show and future ideas for the show. I almost left off the best part, however, is that you probably know, I've probably talked about it, where I have alt art cards that I've designed and printed. I have a Legendary's Maul, I have Fatal Blow, and I have Hard Muscle. And I'm giving those away for free with every purchase, right? I am not, legally, I don't feel good ethically about selling them. I've had people ask if they can buy them, but it's not my IP. It's not... I'm married to an IP lawyer, if that if that impacts your worldview of why my stance is. I teach graphic design, so I'm constantly teaching my students, you can't steal others' work, right? Or others' ideas and things like that. So even though I've made this alt art of some of my favorite characters from Star Wars, it is more of a labor of love. I don't feel good selling them, but I'm happy to give them away. So again, with each purchase, you're given an amount of cards. Really works out for practically every $5 you spend, you get a card. If you buy the sticker and the magnet bundle for $6, you get your choice of card. If you buy the 2 coasters plus the sticker or magnet, you get your choice of 2 cards. And if you buy the big bundle, where you get 4 coasters, a sticker, and a magnet, you get any 3 cards. So if you want 3 Mauls for some reason, you could do that. If you wanted 1 of each, you could do that as well. But the alt art is my way of saying thank you. And I'm happy for you to have that. And that's it. So if you want, like, I don't need the sticker, I just want the alt art, well, be a little more creative about it and, purchase the sticker and the magnet, and then you'll get the alt art. And I'll feel good about it, and then hopefully you'll feel good about it too. All right, so again, if you want to see pictures of the merch, get an idea of the alt art, please go to jankitupfuzzball.com and look for shop, or just jankitupfuzzball.com/shop. And congratulations to all of those that won stickers. I hope you enjoy them. I saw Jack from Golden Dice Pod posted a picture on Twitter recently of his water bottle with the Jank sticker. Really appreciate that. Very cool. Golden Dice have been tremendously influential on my podcast career as a Star Wars Destiny content creator, and I really appreciate Jack putting that out there. So thank you very much.
You're a bug in the system. Let's go, Chrome Dome. Come on!
Let's talk about some Destiny. Like I said, I had the opportunity to play last weekend, and I played some new decks, new to me, at least. And the first one was a Phasma deck. It's the first time I threw a Phasma deck together. And I was trying to figure out which partner. Obviously, we've seen Phasma Sentinel Messenger, Phasma with troopers. And I wanted a trooper for sure. But I really decided I like yellow. I like the ability to put yellow in there. And Mandalorian Super Commando is yellow and a trooper. So I decided to go without a plot and roll with Phasma Elite. This is the Convergence Phasma and Mandalorian Super Commando. So for those of you who are like, hey, this is a Jank It Up show, it's about casual play, why are you rolling a Legendary Elite? And just a refresher, I pulled one in my box tournament from the very beginning of Convergence, and then my son managed to convince my wife to buy the second copy for my birthday. So very special, very nice, and I was excited to get her on the table, and I did that. So Greg came over, and Greg, he actually he opened his box of Spark of Hope, and he got some other cards, and he showed up and he threw down Elite IG-88, single die Grievous, and single die Battle Droid. So I was a 2-wide, which I know I get extra dice with Phasma. You get the trooper dice with her power action, but my 2-wide versus his 3-wide, and it was pretty interesting for sure. Even though I had the Mandalorian Super Commando, and if you're not familiar with this, he is a character way back in the Way of the Force meta. He is yellow, he is a trooper, he has a power action that reads, play an equipment or weapon from your hand on this character, then deal 1 damage to a character. So I have several weapons and other equipment in there. But in terms of yellow cards, what could I bring to the deck? I brought in 2 copies of Armor Plating, which is a 1-cost equipment, which is great. It kind of acts like a slightly softer Riot Shield, but it's an equipment, so that could go on the Mandalorian. 1 copy of Truce, because it's just nice to be able to get money when you need it. And then 2 copies of the Mandalorian Van Braces. I feel like most times if you're running the Super Commando, you're going to be running the Mandalorian Van Braces because they don't have a miss, they're a 1-cost equipment, and they have an action which reads, return this upgrade from play to its owner hand. So each round, if you think about it, you could put that on the Mandalorian with this with this power action, ping a character for 1 damage, pick it up at the end of the round, and then put it down the next way. So you can kind of cycle through his power action to deal more damage. And it's great when it works. So Greg and I opened up the game. Man, IG-88 is pretty fierce because he has a power action where he can just resolve a bounty hunter die, against any number of opponent's characters that have bounties on him. So very first game we're playing, he puts down a bounty on each of my characters, and it doesn't take him long to resolve like 2 ranged into both of them. So, man, it's pretty intense. It's pretty intimidating to have this big old droid. I got down maybe an AT-RT early or something else. I couldn't remember, but all of a sudden you have 5 trooper die in the pool. Dice. See, I'll never get that right. I've been making that mistake since episode 1, and we're 20 episodes in, and I'm still going to screw it up, people. So I'm sorry. But 5 trooper dice in the pool, and then I have the AT-RT. Phasma has focus, all this fun stuff. It just so happened, though, that I took the opportunity and I one-shotted the battle droid, right? So I just took out the battle droid. I think I had 3 dice that all had range, and I just killed the battle droid. I mean, he's not the most threatening character, but He is red, so the best defense, he's the target, right? Otherwise, that would force Greg to run best defense into Grievous himself. A really interesting side effect of that, however, was that in my hand I had Crimson Star, which is a zero-cost red villain upgrade equipment. Again, equipment, because I have the Mandalorian Super Commando. But it says play only if an opponent has one or more defeated characters. So once I killed the battle droid, I threw this down on Phasma. It has an action that reads, exhaust this upgrade to resolve one of the attached character's character dice, increasing its value by 1. So that is really handy, especially when you're thinking about Phasma. Phasma's die sides are 1 range, 2 focus, 1 shield, 1 resource, and a miss. So in that first game, I was able to basically, some round, I used it essentially as a logistics, where I was able to resolve 1 of her resource sides as 2. I also used it later in the game to resolve 2 focus into 3 focus. So kind of setting up the rest of my trooper die, or turning blanks from the stormtrooper die into 2 range. That was pretty handy. It was fun. It worked out really well. I was running military camp, by the way, just trying to get all my dice up there as possible. Of course, I have 2 conscript squad in there. I have a Mega Blaster Troopers in the deck. I had it in my hand twice over the course of a few games, but I never played it, and that was probably a mistake. I probably should have just gone ahead and tried to get it down. But I thought it was a fun deck. I won that first game pretty convincingly, right? I blew down the battle droid. I think next I probably took out Grievous because he was just squishy, and then I took down IG-88. I think that's the order, but I won the first game for sure. I remember that. So second game, he took his battlefield, which I believe was the one where you get money for playing a bounty, and then I took shields, so that's fine. And he won the second game, right? I just didn't quite have the luck, and I didn't have the opportunity to one-shot anything. I couldn't kill the battle droid fast enough. Eventually, I did have like 8 damage showing on some dice, and instead of overkilling the battle droid, I just put it into Grievous. That doesn't kill him, but that was probably a mistake on my part, just trying to hoot a target. He won the second game, and then we went to a third game, a deciding game, and I don't think it was that close. I don't remember much about it other than I lost. I just, he targeted down Phasma pretty quickly, and I couldn't keep her alive, unfortunately. And that was it. So even after the great first game, in which I really just kind of blitzed through and I felt amazing about it, the second and third game did not go my way. Greg's probably going to see this deck again tonight, however, because I am going to make some changes. I'm going to pull the Super Commando out, as fun as that is. I'm going to try something new with the Mud Trooper. I recently traded Matt from Entourage Gaming. So Matt in the Discord reached out, seeing if anyone had a Yoda's lightsaber, and I do. I pulled one in my box. Basically, I happily traded Yoda's lightsaber to Matt, and he sent me a slew of rares in return that I didn't have. So shout out to Matt. Thank you so much, Matt. One of the cards was Mud Trooper. I didn't have a Mud Trooper, and now I do, and I'm excited to slot this in. Of course, I have to remove the 5 yellow cards I had, but I'll put something else in. That's good. But the Mud Trooper has that cool ability. After you activate this character or a leader, you may reroll one of your dice showing a blank. So if you're using Stormtroopers, there's lots of blanks to be rerolled, and his activation would trigger that, and as will Phasma's, because she is a leader and a trooper. So I'm going to rework this for this evening, and hopefully we'll see how it goes. I hope it does better, right? I'm excited to play Phasma. I know that in the current competitive meta, she's nowhere to be found, and I get that. I understand that. But for my kitchen table meta, I think it'll be a fun go. So there you go. The second deck I played was Maul, and I've talked a little bit about Maul. This is, of course, the Spark of Hope Maul. I obtained my 2 Mauls because of Alan Preston. Alan, thank you again for trading your Mauls to me for some jank merch and some miscellaneous cards. That was really, really nice, because not only Maul is just super fun to play, he is, but my son has also fell in love with the deck. Like, he loves playing Maul because Maul smashes face really, really well. And it's good. So Greg, after the 3, we changed decks, and I changed into Maul. I started my Maul exploration with Watto, and then I went to a short phase, a Bib Fortuna phase. We all have that short Bib Fortuna phase, right? But that didn't work out too well. And then I went for the Super Commando, because I realized that Maul does a lot of damage, but the supporting character, I think, the deck will be stronger if the supporting character can do some damage as well. So instead of Watto, where he's just trying to get money, or Bib Fortuna, where you're just trying to get Maul's dice back into the pool, I went with the Super Commando, and I thinned out some cards, right? I took away both of my Fear and Dead Mans. I just tried to really kind of focus on kind of mitigation and then helping Maul achieve greatness through his dice. And Greg brought out just a fun little trooper deck. So he had 2 clone troopers and Elite Commander Cody. And we played 2 games, and I won them both. And I'm not sure I lost a character. Greg can probably correct that, but Maul inflicted a lot of pain on the troopers. It was fun for me, not fun for Greg. But man, playing with Fighting Pit as a battlefield, if you're lucky enough for that, and then Maul and his power action, it's just kind of crazy. It is kind of crazy. And my son, I played against my son following having played Greg earlier in the weekend, and I let my son play Maul because, Maul encapsulates my son in a lot of ways, I suppose. And he wrecked me pretty good on it, right? I mean, he just comes in with big swings, and it's fun. I also get why Maul is not super competitive in the meta. I know there was a Maul deck in the top 32 at Gen Con, but he's at best he's going to be in a 2-white deck, and 2-white decks are just not viable right now, with the exception of maybe Raylo. But man, is Maul fun to play, right? Absolutely fun to play. I liked playing yellow with him, and I know Kevin from Roll On is a huge Maul fan, and I believe he's still playing Maul with a red supporting character. So, Kevin, let's pick a date. Let's get together, because I do want to have a deeper Maul discussion about what's out there for Maul. What is there a supporting character that's good enough for him right now? What could we make one? Like, what would the ideal supporting character for Maul be? But he is super fun. So if you get a chance to play Maul, please do so. He's a great character, and this version is a lot of fun to play. Those 2 decks were fun. A big elite character, villain, of course, and then a supporting character. But then I decided to make something. I wanted to make a deck that, I don't want to say in response to Mike Jim's Ewocalypse at Gen Con, but I was thinking about like the idea of a burn deck. And that Ewok deck is a great version of a Destiny burn deck. But I wanted to make one, so try to focus less on dice and just more on cards that deal damage from hand. And I wanted to make one using droids. So Grievous and 3 Commando Droids. And, I put a lot of cards in this deck that you don't normally play, right? There's cards you've probably seen. You're like, that'll never work, or I'll never play that. But it's in this deck because it's damage from hand. So a quick build on what I did. I had the 4 characters, right? They come out to a perfect 30 points with Grievous's ability. And only 4 die. That's okay. I had 5 upgrades. I had an E11 blaster, an E5 blaster carbine, and a Grievance striker. And those each have redeploy. And then I had 2 modular frames, also with redeploy. So all those weapons get passed around as characters die. I'll tell you, having played this, and I've had a lot of fun with it, but I've since taken out the E11 blaster and the E5 blaster carbine. So I've actually removed 2 extra dice because I just, I don't know. I really wanted to do more damage from hand or find other ways about it. But they were in there. Supports, I had 1 ammo reserves and 2 stab droids. The dream, of course, is getting down the stab droid early in a round, activating, and then with the ambush, activating the 3 commando droids and that stab droid. Because the commando droid, upon activation, you may activate one of your droid characters or supports. So you can just chain all those together and get those dice in the pool. But here's what I'm proud of. Let's listen to the event suite here. Right? I had 2 Sinister Piece. It's just mitigation, right? I had 2 Automated Defense. Again, more mitigation. Spot a droid to remove a die. That's pretty easy. I had 1 Flank, just in case. I had 2 Fresh Supplies, because I would need to get some money. But of course, you have to have the battlefield. So in this case, my idea was to activate everyone and then try to claim and then get the battlefield. Hull Breach. I have 1 Hull Breach, which is a new card from Spark of Hope. It says remove one of your dice showing damage to either discard a support from play that costs equal to or less than the value showing on a removed die, or deal that much indirect damage to an opponent. So in case I have a die stuck out there that's a modifier, this could be used to actually turn that into damage, or if I want to try to get rid of a support, I could do that. Now, thankfully, my meta is not super support heavy. Greg is not throwing down the entourages or anything like that. Although a hard muscle is pretty common to see on our tabletops. I have 1 Inflict Pain only because that's the only copy of the card I have. I have 2 Intense Fire, which is a great red card. Resolve one of your dice showing damage, increasing its value by 1 or by 2 instead if you have more red cards in play. I had 1 Logistics, just again for money. I had 2 Probes. I had a Pulverize. I had a Snuff Out. I didn't get to use it, but that's a 2-cost play only if you control the battlefield, and then remove all dice showing damage. So it's just kind of one of those things to maybe a big swing later in the game. And I had 1 Sudden Impact, and I had 2 Best Defenses. Now, a couple of cards that I put in here that were for my own fun were 2 copies of Strength in Numbers. So kind of like that Ewok deck, deal indirect damage equal to an opponent, or deal indirect damage to an opponent equal to the number of exhausted characters you have. So again, chain my Commando Droids together, get Grievous. If I haven't spent any money that round, I can drop 2 resources and hit them for 4 indirect. So you have 2 copies of that. My pride and joy, though, is a single copy of Opening Volley, right? That's a Way of the Force card. It says play only if this is the first action of the round. No player has taken any actions. Deal 3 indirect damage to an opponent, right? Who plays that? This deck, it actually works, because if I have the battlefield and it's my turn, I will happily blow those 2 resources to deal 3 indirect. Now, I know there's people that'll say you really want to get 2 damage for every resource spent. I get that. But again, jank it up, right? This is a card that I've never played until this deck, and I actually got to use it twice in the 4 games I played with it. Felt great, right? Just straight coming out of the gate, like boom, here's 3 damage, deal with it, and then I'll get ready to activate my characters. So it's fun. Is it competitive? Absolutely not. Of course not, right? There's hardly any dice in it. I think there's 9 dice combined with the characters and the supports and the upgrades, but I just removed 2 of those in the next version. So I don't know. How did it do? I played it into Greg's Trooper, and he won the first game. So Cody and the clones, he was also using advanced training. So not that he used it too often, but any blanks over on his side were still damaged. And he won the first one. The second game, this was our, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is our 7th game of the night. We'd been 3-3. And it was a tough game. It was a close game. And I think many hours and many beers affected the outcome. Because at one point I claimed, and I was on Arena of Death, I should say. That's the battlefield, Arena of Death. So he won the roll-off, so he obviously did not choose Arena of Death. But after I lost the first game, I got to choose the battlefield. So I took Arena of Death. And, I was down to 1 Commando Droid, and I claimed, and I dealt 3 damage to him. And then, we get ready for the next round. We reset. I draw some cards. I'm looking at what to do. And all I had to do was claim again, right? It's so obvious. That should be the number 1 rule of playing Arena of Death, is to look for the double claim. And I didn't. I played like something, a right shield or something that might keep me alive. And then he looked at it and said, hey, if I claim, I win. And I was like, yep. And so he agreed that we should just call it a draw, only because we both misplayed a lot in that last game, as you're wont to do late in the evening and many beers in. But so I should have had that game, right? I should have had it. I rolled that deck out against my son later in the weekend, and the first time I played Maul, I did really well. And just the damage, Maul and Super Commando aren't super healthy, right? They just don't have as much health, and I was able to chew through it. And I rolled well, and Grievous allows for rerolls, and there's just other things you can do, damage from hand, and I beat him, and of course that angered my son, but he wanted a rematch. I'm happy with that. And again, when I play my son, I don't mitigate a lot, so I tend to throw away my mitigation cards to pitch, to reroll, and things like that. But I will say, I played 2 games against my son's running Maul and the Super Commando. And the first game, he dealt 13 damage that first turn. And that sucked, right? I still won the game, but man, 13 in a turn, that's hard. Second game, he dealt 16 damage in that first round. I think he got out Maul's lightsaber turn 1. He rolled that into the pool. He power action Maul, and I think he hit the 3, so that's 6 damage. And then he was playing on his battlefield, which was Fighting Pit, so he used that. I think he hit a 3 again, so that's 3 more damage. And then he can resolve that die, so that's 3 more damage. And his other die was probably a 2, and then it was 16 damage. It was just amazing. But the most proud moment for me came later. Earlier in the day, I have a copy of Deja Vu in this deck, the Maul Super Commando deck. And my son's like, what does this do? So I explained, I said, you play that, and then when you play an event, you can exhaust this, and then if you pay for that event twice, you can resolve the event twice. He said, okay. So he got it down in the second game. I was very proud because he used it twice, and it wrecked me. But he used Conflicted on it. So the first time he had 2 money, Maul was in the pool. He played Conflicted for $1, and he re-rolled Maul's die, hit damage. So that dealt 2 damage to one of my characters. And then he activated Deja Vu, paid a second $1, rolled it again, and got damage again because it's Maul. And so he used that 4 damage he just generated off of Deja Vu to kill my 3rd Commando Droid. And that left Grievous against Maul. And so the next round, it was amazing because the next round, I have 3 dead Commando Droids. I have Grievous. I think I activated a Stab Droid just to get a dice in the pool. And then he played Act of Cruelty. That's his first action. So he paid 1, Act of Cruelty, dealt a damage to Grievous. He was already wounded. And then I had to pitch 3 cards. But he went ahead and activated Deja Vu, paid again. And so he dealt Grievous a second damage. And I had to pitch all my cards. So all 5 of the cards in my hand just went away. And then he proceeded to just pound Grievous into the dirt. Right? It did not take long for him to close that game. But I was so proud of him because I have Deja Vu. I put Deja Vu in the deck for that weekend. I never saw it. I didn't play it. But he played it. And man, did he use it to beat up his old man. Like, holy cow. On Conflicted for 4 damage, and then on Act of Cruelty to wipe out my hand and deal 2 damage to Grievous. That was nuts. What a play. It was fun. Even to be on the wrong end of that, it was fun. So very, very cool. Those were my adventures in Destiny. I'm playing tonight. I'm going to do Phasma Mud Trooper, and I think I'm going to build a version of an Ewok deck. One of the other cards I got from Matt in my trade was Chief Chirpa. I didn't have any Chief Chirpa, so I got a Chief Chirpa, which will allow me to just get a free Ewok out. And I think I'm going to run Chirpa, 2 Ewoks, and 2 Naboo Palace Guards, and just see what I can do. I think that's what'll happen. So we will see. All right, what time are we at? Let's see. Yes, about time to wrap it up. But we can't wrap it up before we crack a pack. So here we are. I got a pack right here. It is Spark of Hope. It has C-3PO, the perfect gentleman, on the cover. This pack is provided by Kingwood Hobbies. So thank you again, Trey and Kingwood Hobbies near Houston. They do such a great thing to support the local scene here. And I know Kingwood Hobbies is familiar with people nationally through Trey's involvement with Entourage Gaming. And also he's made appearances on Discard to Reroll. So hopefully you know Trey. They sell pre-made decks. He sells, obviously, sealed and singles. Please go visit kingwoodhobbies.com. So let's open this up and see what we get. It's probably going to be yellow, right? Because, I mean, we're 20 episodes in. I know 10 of those are yellow. Here's the die. It is blue. And it's a card that I want. That's awesome. Thank you, Trey. Let's talk about what that card is. It is Recovered Sith Lightsaber. That is awesome. It is a rare. It is a villain upgrade weapon. It costs 2 resources. Its die sides are 1 melee, plus 2 melee, 1 shield, 1 resource, and a blank. And it reads, after you play this upgrade, you may remove 1 shield from a character or 2 shields from a character instead if this upgrade is on a Sith. I have a copy of this card already. It is totally in my Maul deck, but I think I might put the second copy also in my Maul deck because it just has that great shield hate, and it's 2 costs with a pretty reasonable good side lightsaber. Like you wouldn't use you would never use Maul's power action on this die, so it's not the same level of Vader's lightsaber or Maul's lightsaber, but it's a great blue rare. So excited about that. Well done. Thank you, Kingwood Hobbies. Let's talk about the uncommon. Jump to Lightspeed. Look at that. I don't have any of that. So this is awesome. So it's a 3-cost hero yellow event. Jump to Lightspeed. Spot a vehicle support to end the action phase. Set this event aside. So it costs 3, so it's expensive, but you can shut down the whole turn, and then you set this event aside. So you can't recur it back into your hand. But pretty good. And you have to spot a vehicle. That makes sense, right? You're Jump to Lightspeed. You're not going to do that on your own unless you're a Purgil. #Rebels. So very good. So that is the uncommon. What are my 3 commons? Here we have a blue Villain event, Weave the Ichor. That is a 1-cost spell. It's event-spell, so that's important. Spot up to 3 witch characters to heal that much damage from a character. So you can heal up to 3 damage, assuming you have 3 witches. It has a picture of Mother Talzin resurrecting Maul, it looks like, or helping Maul. So there you go. 1-cost blue villain event spell. Next card is Counterintelligence. We love that card, right? That's a great 0-cost red villain event. Spot a leader to look at an opponent's hand and place an event from it on top of their deck. I think I have 1 of these. Maybe I have 2, but if not, I could just almost take this card and slide it over to my Phasma Mud Trooper deck, because now I have some slots to fill, and that's pretty good, right? Spot a leader, look at an opponent's hand, and place an event from it on top of their deck. Last card is Bad Credit. It is a yellow 2-cost event. Remove all of an opponent's dice showing a resource. So you're spending 2 resources to remove all of an opponent's dice showing a resource. It's neutral. It's garbage, right? I don't know. I guess maybe as we get into covert missions, this might actually be something where if someone's trying to build the Death Star, you can use this to kind of slow their roll. But I don't see this seeing much play on my kitchen table, for instance. But that card aside, I'm super happy with Recovered Sith Lightsaber, Jump to Light Speed, Counterintelligence. Great pack. Thank you, Kingwood Hobbies. That is awesome. Have you cracked a pack lately? Got any good pulls? I always love seeing on Instagram or Facebook people cracking packs and showing what they got. Obviously, it's kind of like all of Facebook. No one's going to post garbage packs, right? But it's always exciting to see what people may crack. Well, that wraps it up. Episode 21. I'm really trying to squeeze this in. It's been a busy week for me getting ready for school, but I wanted to sit down and do this because I'll probably have more stuff to talk about after tonight, after this weekend. We'll see. So I'll try to get this out this weekend, or certainly before next week. So hopefully it's still relevant. But it's jank, so it's always relevant, right? There's no competition that I'm being part of until we get to Worlds. Just a shout out one more time to Game Shop of Destiny. Please visit them at gameshopofdestiny.com. You can save 15% on your order of singles by using Jank15. Also, be sure to enter their competition or contest for a free box of Spark of Hope. Free box of Destiny cards. That is the best price around. Several ways to enter. Take advantage of that. Absolutely. And then visit jankitupfuzzball.com/shop if you're interested in supporting the podcast. That is a great way of doing it. Plus, you get some Jank It Up merch in return and some alt art. Every purchase gets free alt art from me to you. So thank you. All right, I think that wraps it up. I think I should probably wind it down there. So be sure to visit jankitupfuzzball.com. You can see once this episode is live, there'll be an episode page with just some notes and also pictures of the cracked pack and referral links. So again, if you're interested in using Sticker Mule, I've got a link for you. Rakuten, formerly Ebates, still active there, and you can still get some money back using my referral code. That'll all be listed on the page. Hey, go have fun. I hope you're having a good time with Destiny. I know it's droid-heavy meta. Thankfully, that's not my meta, and I'm able to play around with cards like Maul and Phasma and General Grievous and Commando Droids. But have some fun with the game. Remember, even if you're getting really, really hyper-competitive at things, every once in a while, please play some jank, roll some dice, have some fun. We will talk soon. Have a great one.